episode of Venture Maidens. Oh my god, what a surprise. I'm sad I didn't have an April Fool's joke planned for today. I was just made aware. April Fools, we're going to do a test about Dungeons and Dragons. So buckle up, get your
pencils out.
Yeah, get your pencils out.
Our literal existence right now is the biggest April Fool's.
Oh boy. Yes. Wow, burn on humanity from Brittany Quintero. Yes, hi everybody, welcome. It's another episode of Venture Maidens. I'm very excited to be here. I'm excited all the maidens are alive. It was a little touch and go there last time, so that would have been super awkward, but we did it. So let's do some intros and get started. Hi everybody, my name is Celeste Konowich, and I'm gonna be your dungeon master.
My name's Brittany Quintero, and I'm going to be your Moon Elf Warlock Arnadel Ithil.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm going to be playing Farah Valen, your Tiefling Sorceress.
Hey, it's Nassim. I'm your human monk, Cyan Noor.
And I'm Sage, and I play your 5 hit point barbarian, Cara Brunhilde.
Woo! Yeah, I love. Let's just take a little walk down memory lane here at HP. Farah is at 71. Cara is at 17. Arnadel at 88. Saye at 63. Wow, this is.
Oh, that must have been because I leveled it. I think it added my hit points onto my current.
Yeah, so that's exciting. The DM taketh away with a big fight, but then giveth with a level. We're all level 13, everybody. That's so exciting. 4 years, we're at level 13. Congratulations. Wow, okay, but before we get started tonight with all of our April Fool's fun, what happened last time? Please tell me. Words are hard. Thank you.
It was the dawn of the 4th day that we came upon a lightning storm, and crackling out from the ground came this giant purple worm on crack, and we...
That's a good way to describe it,
yeah, pretty much. Lightning
crackling
lightning
worm.
Crackle worm. That shot lightning out of its mouth and swallowed up lightning. And Kara's like, so we're gonna go fight this thing. And Duke Ravanda's like, really?
Like, for sure?
like really? Are we? And it was like, yeah, we're gonna go do that. And then we fought it, and it was epic.
We really had no other choice. And, true to form, both Saya and Kara just kind of bum rushed it. And we got eated.
Yep, they got it.
We got swallowed
right away.
Sighing with the cool moves of bamfing outside with like Misty Step with your cloak. That was super cool.
So good.
I dimension doored the fuck out of there.
Yeah, there we go. And Kara just had to slash her way out until it went, oh, that doesn't feel good. And it went, bleh.
Ouchie. Too spicy. Yep. Got puked out. And but eventually you killed it. I guess that's good. Hey, see, great. Short recap. Awesome. More content for you. All right, so that's where we're picking up. You had just felled this gigantic, horrific creature that had popped out of the desert sands here. And when this combat had first started, so around the 4th day, this horrible lightning storm had rolled into the desert. And just, it's very strange because there's no rain or anything here. It's just that dry, crackling, electric feeling through the air with all these bolts of lightning that sporadically burst apart the sands. And in the middle of all of this worm had come up. You had battled with it, now felling the giant beast as it falls. And so raging up above still is this horrible lightning storm as you kind of collect yourselves from the fall of this creature. And then you had also seen something sort of strange. As the worm had fallen, the air around here had started to shimmer almost in these patches kind of around the fallen body of the worm, as it looked like the air itself. It was almost like a heat mirage, but in the middle of the storm, you're not sure what that is, but all of these patches are basically popping up around your group right now. So, what are you all doing? Like, the worm, like, just fell, and I think all of you kind of, like, had to run a bit to, like, get out of the way of its fallen body, but it is laying there in the sand.
Seeing the shimmery patch car is like, that's what the lions told us about. Shimmer is bad.
Do we run away?
I don't know. Where are our guides? What is everyone else doing?
Something about time rifts.
Yeah, we gotta run.
Yeah, you're looking around, and like Ravane is like hauling Northwind at this point, who fell down. Like she fell during the fight like 3 or 4 times from damage from this worm. So like she's hobbling, like he's got one arm like slung over her. You see like Amy now is kind of descending from the skies, and she like is dodging out of ways with these bolts of lightning that keep striking the ground. I mean, you all get the sense like if you stay put, I mean this lightning is gonna get you anyway.
Gonna zap us. Yeah. Car will definitely help Ravane carry Northwind, and then will also give them a little cure wounds so that they can feel a little bit better.
Nice. Yeah, and as you do so, Northwind will sort of like grunt and then nod. And she still hasn't like let go of her like giant battle axe, and she's just looking hatefully at this worm that's fallen on the ground. And you hear like a coming from off to the side as you see your halfling companions riding over on Lady, who's bounding like across the sands towards you all. And Ravane's like, okay, well, we can't stay here, obviously, but there's nothing around. I don't know, do we just keep going? Anyone have any bright ideas?
What if we hide inside the worm?
What? He's like, that thing is coated in acid. Did you
Oh,
not
yeah,
experience
I forgot about that. Nope, we're good. I forgot. I'm delirious from the breathing in his fumes and gas.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You also hear a shrill voice, like, as this dog is bounding towards you. They're like, we should get out of here before its mate shows up.
Oh, fuck.
Yep. Sounds
Bye.
good. Lead the way.
Yeah. As a reminder, these lightning storms are sort of like the mating season time for these giant worms. So if one is here, there's probably one very close by. Cool.
You can fly.
Yeah, but everyone was like, don't you do that in the desert. There are things here that are attracted to flying things.
Well, Amy's like, well, nothing is going to be flying in this storm. So if there was ever a time we could do it, it's now.
Well, I can take 4 people. I can touch 4 people. And maybe you can carry.
I can carry one of the little tinkers, our costume makers.
Yeah.
Costume
Don't forget the
makers?
dog.
Whatever the fuck they were, I don't remember.
Rangers?
Oh, they were rangers?
Yeah.
I just thought they made our clothes.
No. Yeah, we took
Personal stylist on the go.
we took our seams people across the desert. They're just like really good at camping.
Hey man, I need my clothes to be immaculate every time.
No,
Yeah,
they're rangers. And Amy is like, I could also help some people fly. If
Yeah,
that's
let's
the
fucking-
plan.
I touch the 4 nearest people to me, and then I cast it on myself.
Sure. So I think you're included in the 4. So I think you could get yourself and all of the maidens.
4 additional.
Minus me.
Whoa, that's rad.
I'm 7th level. After 3rd. So 1 additional person above 3rd.
You don't have a 7th level spell slot right now, do you?
Mm-hmm.
After you cast Circle of Death during that fight?
I still have 2 spell slots.
Oh, shit. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Well, now 1 after casting Fly.
Yeah. All right. So you can hit all of you, and then you could hit like Ravane, and then Amy could get her and the 2 halflings and the dog. Perfect. Yeah. So everybody, it's just the fly spell, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what does this all look like as you all are like flying across the desert, please?
Probably
Thank
very
you.
Marvel-esque.
Yeah, you're all just like as thunder, lightning is like coming down around you, and the sands are like
Oh,
on either
Storm
side.
has been my favorite fucking X-Men since I was a child.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you're storming the hell out of this as this is happening. What direction are you heading in?
I guess presumably in the direction we would have wanted to continue going.
Yeah, so sort of like you're hitting a western point as you're just like racing towards the teeth, which still aren't anywhere in view. I mean, you traveled for 4 days. They estimated it was going to be like a 2-week trip. So you still got some time. So question, how long does fly last?
I think like 10 minutes. I'm looking. Hold on. It should be like 10 minutes. Concentration up to 10 minutes.
Okay. So 10 minutes, and then how fast can you go?
60 feet.
Okay. So you can get...
How many people does that haste spell affect?
Haste ended, unfortunately.
Oh no, if Katie casted another one.
I can only do, it's concentration, and I can only do, I think, 1 person at a time. So, I mean, I could only do 2 max, I think.
Oh.
I'm trying to do the math of how far you can go.
I'm doing it right now.
Okay. I was like, oh no. Trying to figure it out.
20 times 10 feet, or times 10
rounds
rounds
higher
times...
level. Yeah, I think that Farah takes to flying pretty easily. She's very dynamic, and she's gonna, as you guys are figuring that out, fly past Kara and smack her on the butt and give her cure wounds.
We could go about 2 miles, so 12,000 feet.
That's awesome.
That's dope.
Shit. All right. So as we are zooming across the desert here, I am gonna go ahead and need everybody to make dexterity checks because you are flying in the middle of a lightning storm. Just no.
For sure. Checks or saves?
13
saves.
more hit points, Sage.
How many more?
13.
Fantastic. Oh, nice.
I get a 12.
Okay. Farrah's gonna get hit by a bolt of lightning.
So I rolled.
Uh-huh.
I still have 1 charge on my ring of evasion.
Okay.
I rolled a 16.
Okay, so you make it. You don't need to expend the ring. You manage to dodge out of the way, which is great since you're concentrating on the spell. Farah, you get tapped by a bolt of lightning and are going to take 10 damage.
Owie.
As you get zapped. And Saye, what's up? What'd you get?
22.
Okay, you're fine. You're like butter.
And Kara got an unnatural 20.
Yeah. Okay, let me roll for all of my NPCs. Da-da-da. Oh, okay. Everybody did great. Yay! Except for Fear.
Probably still hopped up on adrenaline from that fight.
Like, and all of you are hurting, and it's terrifying as you are like flying for your lives to get out of this like roiling mass. And you can see, like, when you look periodically behind you, the sort of the epicenter of the storm, you can see it like growing and growing over the desert here, as even though it's like still, it'd be getting close to dawn now at this point. Just splitting the sky is just this dark mass of just roiling awfulness that you are just speeding away from. And you manage to get to a point when 2 miles away, it looks like the storm is kind of holding place over that wide expanse of desert. So it's sort of behind you for the time being. But there's another issue here, as in these strange like pockets of shimmering air. They haven't let up at all. So I'm gonna need somebody to make me a percentage roll here. Whoever wants to do it.
Got it.
Get above 50%.
Okay. Well, that's a 37.
Cool. All right. So as you are like racing across the plains, and you're looking back to keep track of like what's going on here behind you, and you're all kind of flying in this like tight like formation as you go. You turn forward just in time as this like shimmer is in front of you, and you're moving so fast. It's like it just pops up immediately, and you're gone. And all of you, go ahead and make me dexterity saving throws as this happens.
Oh, that's better.
Natural 20.
Oh shit.
17.
9.
I also
Mhm.
I rolled an 11.
Okay, so if you want to use the ring.
Yeah, my last charge.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Okay, sweet. So all of a sudden, you are moving very fast. So, like, the fact that you can traverse 2 miles in 10 minutes, think about how fast you're moving, like a bullet train. And all of a sudden, it feels like you hit a brick wall. And you see stars as, like, air is pushed out of your lungs. And this, like, wave of nausea and dizziness overcomes you. And your vision goes black. And all of a sudden, you aren't where you were before. I'm going to need some, let's see. We're going to roll for a couple groups here. So Nassim. Oh, wait.
You taking me away from my ladies?
Okay. All right. So Nassim, so Saye and Kara, you wake up in the same place. And then Arnadel and Farah, you wake up in the same place as each other. But 2 different locations. So.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but Saya and Kara right now, it's a little spicy.
Oh shit, it's spicy. Yeah, so
Woo!
Saye and Kara, all of a sudden, like, you feel stone underneath your back. It's not cold or unpleasant. In fact, it's quite warm. Sun-baked stone underneath you as, like, you kind of, recover your vision and you see yourself sprawled on, like, this brick terrace of some kind. And as you look around you, this expanse goes pretty far. You seem to be on top of a building of some kind, and up above you there are these, like, floating islands that are just covered in, like, lush and beautiful flowers and greenery that sort of, like, spin slowly around this very large, like, center. It's almost like a golden spike that's got to be, like, 30 feet tall, like, as you're looking up at it. But as you're looking at this plaza, and you see that there are, like, benches and, like, balcony rails and everything here is very, very large. Like, it wasn't made for medium-sized creatures. In fact, probably made for, like, giants. As this whole thing is surrounding you. And, like, off over the balconies, you can see these gorgeous, like, canopies of tropical trees that stretch out just for miles in all directions. And the caws of exotic birds come to your ears. And this place smells amazing. What would you like to do?
As we're standing on top of a building, Carl will kind of look around and see if there are any doors that lead up to this roof, or if there are any other buildings nearby that we could, like, hop onto.
Sure. Like, as you kind of look up and get your bearings, I mean, this place, again, it's massive. You must be on top of, like, a castle or something, and it's also a castle made for giants. So you, like, as you kind of look around,
God, so cute.
yeah, you can see that, like, far away from you, towards one of these balcony edges, is a set of, it looks like storm cellar doors, but they're, like, beautifully made and, like, carved intricately with, like, birds and flowers. But these doors, so they do open up, and, like, one of these things is, like, 30 feet tall, like, one panel of these doors. Yeah, so those are closed there. There don't seem to be any other ways up to this floating garden of some kind. And if you poke your head over the railing, you are far above the ground. Like, this structure stretches into the sky here. And all around it, you see, like, far down below, there's a moat that surrounds this place, and a couple bridges reach it from the sides that continue on into this, like, rainforest all around you. So you're probably up on, like, top of the 3rd story.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Can we see other parts of this building or castle? Like, any lit lamps, people, shadows?
So right now, it's like the building itself is sort of a large cube. and you're like on top of the cube. So like kind of looking down off the edge, like one, you have to deal with the vertigo of being so tall. But you can see that there are like windowsills below you as you look down for those multiple levels, and like down far below at the bottom, you see like there's the drawbridge like entrance to this fortress. Why don't you go ahead and while you're looking around, Saye, give me a perception check.
22.
Okay. Yeah, so as you're looking and kind of observing everything here, these floating gardens like catch your attention once again, and you're not really sure what's holding them up in the air. I mean, they're these pretty big pieces of land that are just like these level gardens here, and they're circling around, this golden spike. And as your eyes kind of travel up, you see that there's something attached to the spike, like a piece of fabric or something that's like been speared on the top. It's like kind of fluttering in the wind, and that catches your attention.
Kara will go over to Sai and be like, I mean, you got beat up by that worm thing here. While we got a minute to hang out in a relatively safe place, and Kara will begin casting Prayer of Healing at 4th level so we can get back those juicy HP. So that's going to take 10 minutes, but yeah, she starts this whole process.
Sure.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, what does that look like when Kara casts that? What does a Prayer of Healing that takes 10 minutes look like?
So Kara takes her now icy battle axe and she draws a circle into the ground, or to delineate around Saye and her. And you see one of her father's spiritual form appear, and they begin chanting in this deep almost kind of Gregorian chant that's like but in Dwarven. And as the light around this circle begins to illuminate and encompass them, and you just feel like this radiant, warm energy like just cascade over you and start to stitch your wounds close and such.
Cool.
This is like one of the most magic, or this is the most magic that Saye has seen Kara do. And I'm just like, wow, trying to break the ice between us. Like, maybe I should die and be resurrected because you and Arnie seem to be really fucking cool after we're like, you guys have been through something. I don't know. How are you doing this?
And after she finishes the spell, and we'll get back 20 HP. Yay!
Ooh, thank you.
She will say, yeah, when I was in the underworld, rescuing the souls of my parents from being in purgatory, one of my fathers was a cleric of Moradin, and he always wished that I would become a cleric too, but I fell into more of the footsteps of my other dad, who is a fighter. But being there with both of them and wielding the power of Moradin as we fought Lolth together, I guess Moradin's blessings just stayed with me when I returned back to life.
Wow. That's incredible. You've kind of been touched by God.
Yeah, oh my god, you should have seen that hammer. It was really fucking cool.
You can see its stats on the Venture Maiden Patreon if you donate.
It's cool as shit.
All right. So while you all are having this kind of conversation on the roof, I think we're going to jump to Arnadel and Farah, who are somewhere very, very different from a sunny castle garden. You too fall upon stone, but it is damp and cold like ice. And even though both of you have dark vision, you can tell this place is pitch black. There is no sunlight or any other kind of light. Not magical darkness, just darkness. So pitch black, so you can see in your shades of gray as you look around. And you are in this vast, stony cavern that has been carved carved away, you think, from probably a natural rock bed. And at these the intervals of this very, very long hallway, you see like catacomb-like columns stretching on into seeming infinity. But the rooms here the ceilings are tall. Like, like a 40-foot creature could fit easily in these spaces. And periodically on the walls, you see placards that are written in what languages do you both speak?
Celestial, Common, Infernal, and Sylvan.
Okay, Celestial then. You understand, Farah. There are plaques that are written in Celestial, but it's very, very old form of it. It's looking at like the way they used to carve letters a very, very long time ago. Ye olde English, if it were. And these plaques are arranged in these stacks, like vertically and horizontally, and then at like sporadic intervals, there are these massive carved doors that seem to lead off into different rooms along this very, very long hallway.
Okay. Can I read any of the placards while I'm laying on this floor, not ready to get up?
Sure. As you're looking at the placards, you see that they are names. They're names and they are dates. So you're seeing names here like Phoebe, Pallas, like Styx, Thea, Hyperion. These are some of the names and dates that you're seeing.
Okay.
They look like they remind you of grave markers.
Gotcha.
A mausoleum.
That's the vibe you're getting. Some kind of catacombs or something.
So I'm gonna stand up and kind of reach down and help Arnie get up as well.
I'm doing the exact same thing where like we're both clearly fine and we just lie there for a second, like
and you're like,
and I kind of just relay that information that it just seems like they're grave markers. And I'm like,
kind of looking too. I'm like, I can't read it, but the dates and kind of give me that feeling. Also, are we underground? We're underground.
it's no flower garden, that's for sure. And
well,
these are enormous fucking doors, which makes me very concerned.
well, I would like to do like a history check. Maybe like, is this like the grandness of it all? Is that like common for? Because I'm sure you told me like this is written in Celestial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That would have been my question. Is this like pretty common for celestial beings to have mausoleums at this scale? Like, is this like uncomfortable?
Yeah, I think a history would work, or an arcana would
like
work as
common themes and
like
death
so maybe
architecture.
Maybe like history is one thing, and then like if you're trying to determine what type of creature this might be a nature or an arcana check.
Creature.
Like what creature built this?
Guidance. Oh, +1.
+1. Okay, I got an 18 plus history is going to be a +8. So that's
okay.
26.
That's pretty good.
27.
So I'll say, like, as you're kind of looking around and thinking about everything, something that does catch your attention, like as you were kind of scanning the placards, and you can't read the languages, but you can see the numbers very clearly. And you're looking at the dates of, like, presumably, life and death. And the dates all read 1 at the beginning, and then a huge majority of them read 23. So 1 to 23.
Like, oh, it's like a mass grave kind of thing?
So there are a lot of people buried here.
At the same time?
Yeah, so it looks like multiple people have been interred here. Just for a frame of reference, like sort of the year you're in the plains is 6,000 something.
So ancient fucking burial tomb.
In fact, year 1. Year
So
1.
6 out. Yeah. Wow.
So that's the first thing you notice. And you're like, oh, what could have been around? Like at the beginning of that. You're trying to think there's like, angels wouldn't build giant like palaces on Earth. That's not like really their MO. So you're trying to think of a creature that would speak celestial and be around this long. What are you saying, Katie?
Is it the Titans?
Titans.
Yeah, and then you do start to remember. You're like, oh, like you start thinking about like Menetios and how old they were, and the fact that like the Titans were around when the gods were around, or was it the same? Was one before the other? You're not really. That's sort of your go. You're like, yeah, but that's sort of what's occurring to you, and you're like, well, Titans were very large. Giants, you don't think, I mean, maybe giants were around then, but those are sort of the things running through your mind right now.
Maybe we're exactly where we need to be if we need to find out more about Menetios and all them. Hopefully no one's around.
Yeah. I don't want to like desecrate anything though, because
Oh no.
yeah,
Oh,
like
no.
special like what I like flip on detect magic and just like look around.
Sure. So here, you can tell that there is like light kind of like enchantment magic over each of these like plaques and then the doors that looks to you like some kind of like sealing or like preservation. So maybe some kind of wards or guards to help protect the bodies that are interred here. But otherwise, as you're looking around, there's not a bunch of magic going on here.
That's good in many ways. And I
So-
relay all this.
Yeah, what this really reminds you of is like a royal crypt, like some palaces might have, like, you know, where people of the family are all interred here, and like that's sort of the vibe you're getting.
Well, Farah, shall we use the age-old practice of sniffing the air for freshness to see like if we can find our way out of here?
Sounds good to me. She's just gonna like sniff a little bit, but then just start like looking at all the doors and seeing if we can kind of figure out like most recent use, I guess.
Oh yeah, like dust.
Yeah, why don't you make an
Fall.
investigation check for me?
Guidancing my own butt this time.
Hell yeah.
Oh, good.
Natural fucking 20.
Wow, it's the detectives down here. Damn.
I
I
love
haven't
it.
had a natural 20 in a hot minute.
Okay. So looking around, there is no dust here. This is immaculate. Like somebody has
course.
taken great care of this place, and very recently. There aren't cobwebs or anything around here to indicate. As you are looking, again, it's very, very weird. Like, the further down you go, you're seeing, you know, dates all over the place for deceased. But back towards where you started, again, it's that year, 23, 23, 23. You're seeing it over and over again. Like, a lot of people, or whatever is buried here, died during that
Do
year.
we know of like any events and any like histories we might have ever come by, or like
I was gonna ask to roll another history check for that, since it's like, you know, like when you come across something you're like, oh, like maybe I read about this. This is like, you know, like the reverse. Do you want, I look at Farrah and I'm like, our powers combined.
Yeah.
So somebody roll with advantage.
And a guidance.
Do it, girl.
+4. You can do it. You're smarter than me.
My intelligence actually isn't that high. Well, it's not.
My history is
high.
only +4.
Oh.
If I were to quantify it.
If I were to give it a number of some kind.
So 13 plus 4 plus 8.
Okay. You are certain that history that far back isn't really recorded anywhere. Everybody has their own stories about what the
Just,
beginning of the world.
Speculated upon.
Yeah, everybody, has their origin myths of what the world was like when it started, or and you really don't know that much about the Titans. In fact, I mean, they don't have a lot of history about who they are or what they are. Like, you
The
feel like
celestial thing's throwing me through a loop, though. Like, what's
Yeah.
up with Titans and Celestials?
Honestly, like, you are certain that the information isn't out there. Otherwise, you would have known it, which is what you definitely know from this history check. You're like, this is super weird.
Not there. Never read a book on this. Fair, I have no idea.
Cool. Then I think if we don't know anything, our next step is let's open a door.
Yeah. Since you can read Celestial, as we're traversing this, like, if anything jumps out, like, I don't know, I'm kind of scanning too to see if anything is different. If you see something that's maybe not a name and a date.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Healed.
Why don't you make some perception checks?
Okay. 15 plus 2 is 17 plus guidance to myself
Do I
is
have-
19.
Okay.
Oh, you can cast guidance on yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, I have that spell too.
Y'all
I've
should just
never
be
used it.
constant guidancing.
Yeah,
Just
pretty
all
much.
day, every day.
Do, like, the compliment circle. Like, no, you're amazing. You're amazing.
You're so
No,
good at
you.
this.
Oh my
You're
God.
so good at this.
You know so much.
Right. So I think, like, as this is happening, and you're starting to look at the doors and look for something unique, both of you, like, suddenly get this, like, crawl up your spine as you hear this, like, sound of something scraping across the ground. Like, there's a breeze that goes through and something moves. And, like, you kind of, like, turn instantly to, like, look at what's going on. And you see coming down the hallway, like, just as, like, a gust picked it up, is a page, like a piece of paper that's been, like, torn out of a book, and it just lays flat there on the ground.
We, like, cautiously at the same time both, like, lean forward to look at it.
I imagine like the Scooby-Doo position too when we heard that scraping where we're like holding
Holding each other. Like
Zoinks!
Shaggy and Scooby. Yeah. The
Yeah.
zoinks for sure. What's it say? Is it in Celestial?
It is in Celestial. Roll me a d4, one of you.
My D4s are notoriously horrible.
3.
Okay. So here is what it says. I'm going to put it in the Zoom chat, and I would love if one of you would read it.
It's like middle school all over again.
Oh my God, I'm just kidding.
Do you want to read or do you want me to read?
Go for it.
I'll read. I'm the one reading it. It says, but I suppose philosophy is not for one such as I, a general of a forsaken keep. My soldiers and civilians both make exodus by the hour, but I shall remain to face whatever these monsters come to collect. My automatons and I shall deal whatever blow we can to these invaders. I fully intend that my body will be among the sandy ruins of this fortress. Yikes.
And I think as you all kind of read that, let's jump back upstairs to this garden. So you just finished this prayer of healing, had a little conversation about what Kara went through in hell, and here you are on top of this fortress.
So since these like giant doors were made for giants or very, very large people, I assume the handles are like 10, 20 feet above us or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, so they're kind of laying like flat, so they're like storm cellar, so they're kind of at a diagonal. So you think
got it.
You think together, if both of you like creep your fingies up on opposite sides and make a strength check, you could probably get these doors
Cool.
open.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Strength check.
Strength. Nice. Hell
Ooh.
yeah.
21.
A lot.
Oh damn! Hell yeah! We got the buff people up here. If I had stuck Arnadel and Farah, this might have
Mary,
long
you're gonna have to
time.
find us in that crypt.
Yeah. Sweetie, what's going on? All right, yeah. So you, between the two of you, you're like, and you do the thing where you both squat on both sides and like lift this enormous door above your head, and like you have to throw your whole bodies into it just to like swing open this one door that like clatters with this huge noise against the stony floor as you flip this door open. But sure enough, you reveal a set of stairs that leads downwards towards another level.
Very good.
Are the stairs incredibly steep for us as well?
They are very large, so yes, they're tall, so you're gonna have to kind of hop and climb. You're in a giant palace.
Yeah. Oh man, like the mice in the Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Kara starts making her way down those stairs. It's like, well, it seems like as good a lead as any.
Yeah.
Is there light down the stairway too, or does it lead into darkness?
So down the stairways, you can see that at the bottom here, whatever floor that is, has some sunlight that's pouring through windows. So it is sort of like dim-ish. Like there are curtains, but they're not drawn.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, only way to figure out where the fuck we are.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So yeah, as you descend down these stairs, you realize that the stairs are leading you into sort of a large, you're not really sure what exactly the purpose of this room is. It looks sort of like a study, sort of like an observatory, kind of very nice room. And again, you see just like giant furniture all around here, lounge chairs and tables, desks with like, everything here is clean and polished. Just a very nice sort of study in front of you. Both of you go ahead and make perception checks.
12 for Saya.
16.
Okay. So Kara, as you're like descending down the steps, and both of you are kind of huffing and puffing as you're like hauling ass, and you're both still pretty hurt, even with healing down these stairs. In between your breaths, you hear something coming from this room, like behind the massive desk in one corner. You hear like a slurping and like a chewing noise, and like a little.
What the fuck? Kara immediately draws her axe and is like looking at the ready around for whatever is making this sound.
Yeah, you can tell it's definitely some kind of something that's like crouched behind the desk in the room.
I'm gonna try to sneak around
Okay.
and take a peep at it. Let's see what it is.
Sure, make me a stealth roll.
23.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that. Yeah, no. So you like creep around, you get down like onto the floor here, and the carpets here are very plush and lovely. So you're sort of like wading through these like fibers as you're making your way like behind this desk. And you like poke your head around there, and you see that like on the floor some papers have like spilled out of a bottom drawer. And amidst them all there's this creature that's about the size of you. So this thing stands, like 5 feet tall, 5 feet wide or so. It almost looks like a rat, except it has like these grayish scales all over its body and this little like pink nose that it's like sniffing while it holds up this piece of paper with its little hands. And it is just like going to town, like shoveling, like eating this paper and chewing it. And, occasionally like wipes its hands and like picks up another like piece of paper and just starts.
Okay. Yeah. Almost sneak the fuck back to Kara and be like, if that's the goddamn vermin in this place, I don't want to know what lives here. Yeah. So let's go find the front door.
All right. And Kara will nod at you like, all right. Yeah. Let's keep going.
Yeah, and as you look around this room here, you do see that there is a door that leads out of this room.
Yeah, going straight to that door. We don't need to know what else is in that room.
The whole time, like you hear that chirping like coming from. So it sort of looks like a pangolin. If you all have ever seen one of those, that's sort of what it looks like.
I'll describe it to Kara, and maybe she'll know.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like little desert kind of armadillo.
Yeah.
Creatures. Yeah. So you continue to sneak your way out of this room. Arnadel and Farah team just found this journal page.
Okay.
What's happening?
Well, I'm wondering if all these graves are from whatever led after this person wrote this journal entry.
You see, but does it make sense if this is a keep, they wouldn't have a crypt? Also, like, this general doesn't know what he or she is being invaded for.
You can definitely tell that there are other pages of the journal that have been torn apart. So this is a piece here. So it's a continuation of something. There's more to the beginning, and there's more that comes after it.
Yeah.
Can I look kind of in the direction that it floated over to us from and try to see if I can find any of the rest of the pieces?
Yeah. As you like make your way kind of pressing forward, you eventually, after a few minutes of having to walk down this like very, very long arcade, the room kind of opens up into this. It's this area of like 4 stone benches that have been like put together to create sort of like a resting area, maybe where people might come to like pray or hold service or something. And at the very front of this like 4 things, there is a statue of this looming figure that stretches again high above you, and it seems to be like a man, except for the massive size. And again, you're seeing very Grecian statuary features of just like this like brave like shirtless warrior like standing above, like holding this massive weapon in his hands as he like looks towards the sky and then holds a book under one arm. Yeah. And then go ahead and as you get to this point, make me another perception check.
That's a dirty 20.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, with that, you do catch, you're like, oh my God. And as you're like looking up at this statue, you see that like caught on one of the jagged edges of the statuary is like a piece of paper that's gotten like speared on the end of like, like the cross guard of the statue, as if it's blown like down and then into this crypt. So it's sort of fluttering there about 15 feet above you.
Can Alistair reach that for us? Is he here? Is he here?
He's always
yes. I wouldn't separate you from time and space. Your NPCs, you have no idea where they are. But...
He's always like thoroughly wrapped around my neck.
Okay, in a papoose.
Not even time hopping can separate us.
No. Yeah, he like I don't even, because now I have telepathy and I can communicate with him. I can actually communicate with you too telepathically.
Hell yeah.
So he flies up. I'm like, grab it and I hand it over to you.
He like pulls it off with like his delicate little fingies, in his claws. He and there's like a hole right in the middle of it, but you can read most of the text here. Why don't you go ahead and roll me a d4? Reroll if you get a 3.
I wonder how many pages there are.
2.
Okay, well then. Here we go. About to drop in the Zoom chat, and I'll go ahead and give you that this is part 2. There you go.
Okay. Part 2. One thing is certain, we have created monsters. These beings have begun to call themselves gods, enslaving large swaths of mortals, bending them to worship and pay tribute at bizarre altars. I cannot blame these mortals, though. We left them to their own devices. Apparently, we were mistaken to leave them as they were, free and innocent. None of us could have guessed that these gentle creatures would come to be used against us So they made, I'm guessing that it's gods making these titans and then they got fucked.
I have a feeling this is like a Pandora's box situation. Something happened.
Do we have any idea who the man in the statue is? Is it a god? Or...
You can see that there is a little placard at the bottom of the statue, and the name it reads is Kronos.
Oh wow.
That's the desert we're in. He's the Titan. Oh my god.
They said it. They said
Also, let's get into like that Greek mythology though. Are there like some allusion there?
God of time. Or Titan of time.
Welcome, Nerd Immersion. Thanks for being here. We just read some fascinating journals in a spooky crypt. Yeah, so this page or this part of the text would go before the one you found. So, and it seems to be this is all one journal entry that you're guessing here. But you can definitely tell that there is a piece that should go before and a piece that should go after what you have.
We got the Oreo filling, guys.
It's the squishy middle.
Yeah, but I want to know what's up with like why that line that this general says, I shall remain to face whatever of these monsters comes to collect. Like that's concerning. Like I wonder what this person's defending something without knowing what they're defending. I mean, I guess like the general could be like, this is my keep. I have to, but why? Mm-hmm. I want to know why. Why and what?
We better find some more paper.
We need to know. I mean, Arnadil, like the smell of the hunt has like triggered her to like get over the fact that we're separated and who knows where we are or why or when. But let's find the other pages.
It's a mystery. All right. Yeah, and if you continue onwards past this room, you actually do begin to see touches of sunlight flooding down as you eventually come to these massive steps that lead upwards. And you can tell that there is a gigantic door that opens up at the top of this landing, probably to the first story of this castle.
I haven't been to the gym in months. This is going to be awful.
Yeah, it's a very big door. So any good ideas about how to open it? My mages? My little mages?
I mean,
Mage hand ain't going to do shit now.
It is more than 5 pounds, I will say.
Let me look at my spellies.
Do you have a big stick?
Let's get a big stick and turn that handle.
I've got a pair of spiritual scissors.
Levers are a commonly underestimated.
I'm gonna leave you both to think about that while we jump back to what's going on upstairs. Our monk barbarian dream team. So you make your way to this big old door, and you are facing the same situation as your friends down below. Massive door, closed. What's up?
Kara will take out one of her javelins and tie a rope around it, around like the end of it, and then offer it to Sally. Be like, "You think you could throw it up through the handle, and then maybe we could pull it open?"
Oh, yeah. I took some pole vaulting classes before we left, so
just like at summer camp. Like where did they offer those? At the
wherever we were gearing up.
Yeah. Lucky Lou also teaches a pole vaulting class, so
I read some books. Yeah, I took a class.
Talk about a pole vault. Yeah, go ahead and make me a ranged attack to try and loop it around.
Oh well, I rolled a natural 20.
Oh shit! All right. Well, those classes really paid off. Good job, summer catalog. So you, effortlessly line up your shot and do I don't know, what's your they always have weird twirly. What's your Olympic twirl to get this spear?
My twirl is the aftermath. It's very dancer-esque, ballet-esque, where it's a few leaping jumps,
Yes.
and then a beautiful, elegant long throw into the handle that then leads into a spin,
Oh my god, your follow
landing in like a bowler's pose.
Yes, it's amazing, and you effortlessly like catch the spear back somehow. So you have a nice snug ropey to give it a good pull. Both of you make a strength check. Roll with advantage because you did good.
Fun.
You did
Oh,
good.
good.
Natural 20.
Whoa!
Beep, beep, beep,
What the
beep.
hell? Okay, that's been like 5 natural 20s. What's going on?
Yeah, for real.
I don't like
We
it.
hot tonight.
I'm scared.
That I got a 22.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Nope. You're like fine. Like as you throw open this door, it swings open, and you hear like a deep like from behind the desk, and you see this thing like pokes its head around and kind of like sniffs the air as it's looking at both of you.
I'm just like, no, boy, no, keep eating that.
Yeah. It's like and like and kind of like backs up, and doesn't want any of that. So.
Hell yeah.
Sweet. Okay.
Head out the room.
Yeah, I need to refill my wine. I'll be right back.
Cool. Then this might be a good chance for me to grab a beer.
And I also want to refill my whiskey ginger.
Well, I'm drinking Poet's Brunch Stout by New Holland Brewing, and it is delicious. What about you, chat? What are you all drinking out there?
I was just typing to you, Katie, and I
Oh.
realized everybody dipped out. So I was like, now's the time. I can use Alistair's collar to change him into a dragon.
That's what I was thinking. I was going to say either that or I'm going to fireball that shit. Because
Or-
that's my MO.
I got wand of, I really want to just use that Wandy polymorph. But maybe him as a dragon can be big into, excuse me. I just like put my body weight of like chips and salsa in it. I can't say no to it, honestly.
I mean, why would you? Yeah, I think that's actually the best play. And also I want to have him talk again because it was so heartwarming.
Well, I was like revisiting his stats. He's got an intelligence of 10. So he is as smart as an average human. And he can understand common, but he can't, common and draconic, and he can't speak it. So I'm like, oh, well, if I have telepathy, we could totally just like, but like hearing him speak.
Mom?
Oh my
That was so
God.
great.
Jesus fuck.
I've been waiting for this moment since we got these items.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
yeah.
Oh, are you talking to Alistair?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
I think
yeah.
what our plan's gonna be.
Yep. For sure.
Because we're weak.
Ow. Yep, that's a good plan.
I
Okay.
don't even know what my strength is. It's not very high, I don't think.
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
+1, but
Okay.
I have a +2. I don't know how I have a +2. That's weird.
What?
So,
Heavy books.
So team,
Yeah.
team Easy Doors upstairs. So you pull open like this great door with just a massive hall. And you scare the crap out of whatever little creature was just eating paper delightfully. And you see that there is another set of stone stairs that leads even further down. And this set is much larger than the one before, so you think this might traverse an entire level. But all along this staircase, you see that there are just these gorgeous, like, stained glass windows that line this place. And like in these scenes, you can see just whoever created them was incredibly talented, depicting scenes of forests and landscapes and just like beautiful like cosmic images and scenery that kind of light, everything with rainbow colors as you descend.
Any kind of storytelling in these windows?
Right now, these all seem pretty pictorial. Like they're not trying to tell a story. They're just made because they were really beautiful.
Mm.
Lovely.
Lovely.
Yeah. Getting the arm workout as we're lowering
Yeah.
ourselves down all these giant steps.
Scooting your butts down like each of these giant stairs. Yeah, and eventually you do reach the bottom of this staircase here, and you see that this room opens up into what must be a great hall. I mean, you've been in, like, all the rooms you've been in so far have been big on this massive scale, but nothing like this room that just, like, stretches on probably the entire length, you think, of this keep. And as you look, there are just these amazing, like, marble pillars that travel from floor to ceiling, again, like 50 feet tall. And at the very, very top of this room, there's a mural that kind of covers everything here. But as you look at it, it actually moves and shifts as you see constellations and stars traveling across the night sky that's captured
Sick.
in this hall. And again, in this place, statues, like gorgeously carved marble statues, like sit between these massive pillars, and they're depicting what they look like people, warriors of all kinds, wielding different weapons as they stand valiantly before you. And you can see that at the very end of this hall, there's a great set of double doors, but just before it is this, like, big, like, oaken round table. And once again, as you're looking, like, everything here is perfectly clean and immaculate, but there's just no sign of anyone here.
Kara will go towards the statues and look to see if there are any names inscribed on them anywhere, if there's any indication about who these individuals are.
Sure. So again, you do see names. You do see one that says Kronos, kind of amidst them. You also see names like Atlas, Creus, Eos, Oceanus, all of these depicting those sort of names.
Kara will turn to Sai excitedly. Kronos, the Titans, Menetios, this is a Titan keep. Oh shit.
A keep for Titans? Oh my god. Holy shit. Okay,
we
must, somewhere?
Yeah, let's keep going. We must be back in time though, or something.
So you think we're still in the desert?
Yeah, I think we're in the desert back in time because we're in the Kronos desert, and maybe this was a keep, Kronos' keep in the desert from before he got killed.
I see. Well, then maybe those shimmer things will show up here too.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a way to different times if we ended up in this one.
Can I roll? I don't know, maybe a religion? I don't know if Titans fall under that, but if I know anything about Kronos and
Sure. Make
the Titans?
a religion check. Yeah, about the Titans, about general.
16.
Yeah. So, as opposed to, like, Arnadel's check, that was about history and, like, known facts about the Titans, some things do come to mind for you from, like, your religious kind of studies. You don't know very much about the Titans, but you do know that before there were gods, there were these beings called Titans. But from what you've read, they were malicious and horrible and cruel. And so the gods did everybody a favor and stepped up and killed most of them off, except the ones that chose to behave. And so that's what you know. And you're like, so, you know, they don't really have, like, worshippers or anything like the gods do to this day. But, like, this is just the general kind of knowledge you have. But you're not sure how much. I mean, Titans are almost like, you know, like a bad
right.
boogeyman, like, of religious history, right?
For sure.
And Kara will also definitely remind Sai too with, like, oh yeah, and when we were learning about Menetios and we were talking to the sisters about it, they said that humankind, or like humanoid kind, that killed off a bunch of Titans. So I don't know.
Humans. Okay. Well, I guess, yeah, we just need to keep finding our way out of here.
Yeah. Before we head towards those double doors, I presume, Car wants to try and hop up onto a chair to see if there's like anything of note on the table.
Sure. Yeah, you you have to climb up the legs of this chair,
Yup.
like as you're going up. And you do see that there are 2 pieces of paper lying on this table.
I speak Common and Dwarven.
You cannot read the language they are written in.
Bummer.
It looks like they're torn, like fragments of something. Like both of these were like ripped out of a book and then like thrown on this table. Let's jump real quick to team downstairs. What's the plan? How we getting this big door open?
We did devise a plan. However, real quick, Arnie
Yes.
I grab, like when you have an epiphany.
Yes.
I grab Farrah and I'm like, hold on. Wait. Before I do this thing with Alistar, I can send a message. And if our team is on the same plane of existence, actually, they don't even have to be on the same plane of existence, but if they're in a different timeline, my hypothesis is that message won't send. So we can just like quickly check to see if they're here.
Yeah, I'm here for it because if they're not here, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really fucking know what to do. So
Same. Fucking
I'm
same. So
scared.
like we're gonna open this door anyway, but before we do so, it's possible that they're on the other side and we might be able to help. Well, okay, hold on.
do the
So
thing.
I do the thing. I Asylum's clasp and I visualize. It's only one person, right?
Yep.
I, for whatever reason, this logic seems to check out. Kara is a very constitution, like the Constitution, I would imagine, is higher in Kara. So whatever reason that makes sense, Arnidal's like, Kara, and fucking sends a message and visualizes Kara and is like, are you fucking here? Because just checking.
Kara, you hear a voice in your head. Are you fucking here? You recognize Arnidal's voice.
Kara immediately looks around, like even though she knows she like heard it in her head, she's just like, "What? Can I send a message back to you?" All right, Kara will say, "Oh shit, where are you all? We're in a great hall on maybe the 2nd level of some Titan keep."
You hear in what the magic messengers version of like all caps is we're in a fucking crypt. Oh my god, thank god we're in the same time zone. We're in a magic crypt. We're trying to open a giant fucking door.
Time zone indeed. Yeah, cool. If you're casting message again, send that one to me.
Oh yeah, you don't get that. But you get that you're on in the same place.
So Saya sees Kara like look around frantically as she's like standing on the stable. It's like, oh, Saya, I just got a message from Arnidal. I think they're in the keep somewhere too.
Oh, really?
So
I don't know where though.
because I couldn't write back. So Katie, you and I know, or Farrah and Arnidal know that Saya. Well, I don't know that Saya's there. I just know that Kara is there technically.
Yeah. Yep.
But there's at least one other person that is on the same plane of existence in the same timeline.
Great. That's great.
We can only hope that they're here. Wait, you did say Great Hall. Okay, I was like, okay, Great Hall. I think we're in the same building. Kara at least is definitely here. Let's get this fucking door open.
Hell yeah. Let's get it. I'm ready. I'm ready to find our party because if somebody just runs up to us and punches the shit out of us, we're dead.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
so
There's
squishy.
no long rest that has happened.
And like all I need is a short rest.
Can we find a Titan bed to take a nap in?
A giant
Right,
bed.
cuddle.
All you cuddle up.
I'm telling you, orange slices and Capri Sun.
Here we go.
Halftime.
All right.
So I kneel down and put little Alistar Fitzpatrick's collar on.
Okay, he
And
looks
I'm like,
very
go,
nervous.
drag and go.
Yeah, when you do it, and he's like doing
like
the thing
it.
where he's like squirming, like when you have to put the leash, like the collar on to go outside.
Oh, Lucy fucking loves it. It means
Oh.
she's getting a walk, so she's just like, I'm fucking ready. I'm ready. I'm standing still.
I was born for this.
All dogs I've ever had are like spazzes, and they're like, nah. And then, but the minute you get the leash, they're like, oh yeah. And you're like, why? Why are you like this? So yeah, he's like, yeah, but you clutch the collar around him, and he like looks at you like wide-eyed for a moment before his body like expands, and he becomes this large dragon that sort of looks comically small, like compared to how big the door is and like everything around. And he's sitting there, he's like, oh, I feel so weird.
Honey, I know. We've
Puberty is
talked
a
about
bitch.
this. We gotta open this. I know, you'll get used to it. Just it's only for 10 minutes. Like, can you, or however long, can you help us with this door?
Yeah, for sure. And he like looks up and he kind of like unfurls his like long leathery wings. He looks at them suspiciously.
Can Katie and I both cast guidance on him at the same time?
Do better. I will say a large dragon certainly has the strength to open this door. They're like a 30 something. So he flies up like kind of uncertainly, like on these leathery wings that he's like just getting used to, and he's like, oh, I'm really fast. And then he like goes up and like unceremoniously like throws his weight at the door and like kind of scrabbles and gets his arms around it, and just like you see his like dragon arms heave,
like dead weight drop with it.
Yeah. And the door just like flies open as he doesn't understand his own strength, and he kind of like soars back just in time. He's like, ah, and he lets out this like little like cloud of glitter, except it's not like a little puff, it's like a full-on like
shower,
like 30-foot cone of glitter at this door, and it like kind of sparkles against the edge, and he's like, oh.
Did we just learn a new breath weapon? Does that like turn into shards of glass? Like the glitter is like giant fucking.
I don't know. It felt weird.
This is probably like a very advanced and intense version of puberty for you. I won't subjugate
it's
you
really
to this.
fast.
Yeah, you know what? We're only going to use this collar when we really need it.
Okay. I mean, I guess it's kind of cool.
I know. You are like, I have a moment, like a pet moment.
Yeah, he sits down and he tries to like snug up like into your arms, and he's so big, and he's just like, I don't.
Just like patting his knee.
He
like,
kind of like scoops you like between his hands and like pulls you
Aww.
to his chest.
Farrah's like standing on the other side of this dragon, just like Steven Universe star eyes, just like.
Alistar is such a lap baby. You can totally get up into the like affection. He like, we're all about it.
She reaches and just,
he like puts an arm easily around both of you, and like, and you feel like his dragon tummy is super warm. Like there's like a roaring fire inside him.
That's fucking.
Hey, these ceilings are really tall. Can we fly on him?
I look up at him. I'm like.
He kind of cranes his neck. He's like, yeah, I could definitely take both of you.
Oh, good. I was good because I'm a little sassy with him too. I'm like, good, because you hitch a ride on me all the fucking time. Let's go.
Oh, I thought you. Okay.
It's mutual. I do love you. I love you. Let me just like fucking poke at you. Let's go.
This only lasts for like 13 minutes, I think. Is it your
a charge a minute?
Yeah. What's the?
I'm looking attunement equipment. Attunement. Where is it?
It's either like 1 minute or it's equal to
collar
your
potential.
Level.
A minimum of 1 minute. The collar gains 2 minutes of transformation capabilities for every 8 hours it is not in use. So I have not used it in a long time, since before we left.
Oh yeah.
Well, what's on the other side of this door? First off, maybe we can just
Yeah.
fly down a hallway and.
Yeah, so you can definitely climb on him, and he'll flow really low to the ground. So even if he does start to change, he'll be like, "Oh no!" and then like land on the ground before that happens. And so he goes and he like soars, and it's not great. Like, as he's carrying you both, because he's still learning how to fly with wings that are so different from.
He's like several hundred pounds heavier than he normally is.
Yeah,
right?
so now he's like the size of an elephant when he's used to being, the size of a cat. Is the difference you're going there. So he like sort of like bobs and weaves through the air and like flies too low sometimes and has to like do jump kicks like off of things that he finds to like get.
I thought that we were gonna like never-ending story this, but this is a two-hand situation.
This is you have to hold on for dear fucking life to stay on this teenage dragon as you're careening through. And you open up into this room. It looks like maybe a dining hall of some kind, since you keep like bouncing off of these chairs and these long like banquet tables. And here you can see that there is another set of stairs that leads upwards to another level, and then a set of massive doors that they look like entry hall doors if you had to guess just on their size and scope.
Well, let's get those open before we have a shrinking situation.
Yeah.
We
Let's
can
do it.
come
All
back
right, baby.
and investigate later.
One last thing. Let's get this last door open.
You do know that Kara said she was probably a couple levels above you.
Second level, right?
Yeah, that was
Or-
her guesstimate.
Guess of second level. We came from a crypt, so we're probably on the first level.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm like, okay. Hurry and get that door open, little sweet baby, and then we can take the collar off.
Okay, wait, the one up the stairs or the one at the front?
Upstairs.
Okay.
The one up the stairs.
And he like goes and like throws some speed into it, and he like hits this dive right before the base of the stairs, and then he's like and like with a sudden like upwards turn as you go almost like vertical. So go ahead and make some dexterity saving throws to try and stay on careening Alistar.
I got a natural one.
I got a 10.
Okay, so both of you, he hits that dive and he just hits it so wrong. And his like little back legs like scrape against the bottom of the stairs, and you both like go flying off like as that impact happens. You're at the bottom step, so you're only falling like 10 feet. So go ahead and roll a d6 of damage.
I mean, that's still like 10. I don't want to fall 10 feet at like velocity. I roll a 5.
So
5
you take
damage.
5 damage as you get thrown
hell.
onto the floor.
This is so great.
I still love him. He's not getting scolded. We're only gonna. I like nudge Farrah. I'm like, we have to like cheer for him.
Good,
Yeah,
good
you're like,
job.
"Ow." And
Woo!
Alistar's like,
It's okay.
She's like rubbing her bony ass, just like suffering.
yeah, he like lands on one of the stone steps, and he looks down at you, and he looks so sad. You're not sure how
Oh no!
a reptile
Woo, it's okay.
can look
We did
so
it.
sad.
We
And
did
he's
it.
like
Oh.
as he begins to like shrink back down to his
We
little
got the
size.
door open, right?
So at the top of the stairs, there is still a door that is open.
Oh.
He didn't quite make it in time as he did
Oh.
a U-turn to try and make sure you were okay. But I will say,
that's fine.
Sage and or Kara and Saye, go ahead and make perception checks.
Do they hear our ultimate failure?
The
16.
crash.
12.
So Kara, echoing across the stony hallway, and it's faint, but you can swear that from the end of the hall you hear a "oh no" and like a crashing sound coming from the set of doors at the other end of this room. Not the ones by the table, like by where you are, but the far other side.
Did
Yeah,
you hear
yeah.
us cheering? Woo! It's okay.
Yeah, you hear a shrill.
You're doing great.
It's
kid.
very quiet, but like
Yeah. Yeah, because I imagine this room is very quiet. Otherwise, it like
no, it is
ears-
pitch silent in this
Yeah.
place.
And so you see her, Siace's car's ear kind of like perk up towards the doors far at the far end, and she's like, "I think I heard something."
Oh, shit. Are there like giant curtains somewhere we can hide behind?
Kara's like, "It was really faint, so I don't think it was a titan. Maybe something smaller, but we should go and check it out."
Are you sure? Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
No.
I got your back.
Yeah, I mean, my hope is that it's Arnadell, but oh, who knows?
Yeah, I guess you're hearing it from the direction we assume behind us is or below us is coming up.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Can't really tell where the sound is coming
yeah.
from.
Sounded far away, so either it's really big and really far away or really small and close by.
Wait,
All
aren't
right.
you guys by a door too?
Yeah, we have to head down to the end of the hall, and we can do our javelin rope trick and pull it open.
Yeah, I'll say you've mastered this skill by now, so you don't even have to make checks. You're just a fucking door opening team at this point. So as both Farah and Arnadell, you are staring up at this door, like at the end of these stairs, going, "Oh my god, how?" One of them swings open, and you see Kara and Saye at the top of the stairs, like holding this big rope.
Oh, thank the
You all see
sisters.
each other.
Oh my god, all of us are here.
Oh,
thank
it's
God,
you guys.
Saya.
For a second,
Yeah.
I freak out and I think like you're just riding a dragon out of nowhere, and I
Oh
forget.
no, he's small now. He's small now.
We're probably
Oh.
still like sitting on the ground. And I'm like clutching on him, just being like, "It's okay."
A
You're
very
good. You're
traumatized
so
looking
good.
Alistar.
You're so good. When we get out of this, you're gonna practice. We're gonna practice more.
Just like
Practice.
big eyes.
Like watery eyes that are on the verge of crying.
Oh man, yeah, we're having a moment, and then I'm like, "See, Farrah's fine," and then we like turn around, and then there you guys are. I'm like, "Oh, and Saya's here too." Oh my god,
Where did you guys come from?
the basement.
Scary crypt.
Oh, okay. Well, we came from a balcony somewhere. I guess there's no one here at all.
Hey, wait, Farrah, you read Celestial, right?
Yes.
Oh, I found 2 pages on the table that maybe you can read.
Oh,
Okay.
yo,
And she'll motion you both to like come up the stairs.
Cara, this is brilliant. We found 2 pages downstairs.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, I think we got missing things to puzzle piece together.
I think we're in a Titan keep. Holy shit.
Yeah. Like Kronos.
Yeah, there's a statue of him over here. And she'll like point into the room.
Pretty
We
hot,
saw-
right?
We saw one downstairs. A bunch. Also, as you're reading it, Arnadell's filling you guys in. Like, there's a bunch of fucking dead bodies down there with dates. I think we're about 6,000 years in the past.
6,000 years?
Everyone died on year 23. That's all we know. But we're trying to piece it together. This is kind of a journal entry.
Actually, there's no reason that would make us think that. I mean, if they died in 23, there's nothing to tell us that we would actually be there in the year 23.
The sister said that mortals killed a whole bunch of Titans, so maybe they all killed them in year 23. And she's
We
like
could
Sherlock Holmesing.
we could literally just be here like 100 years prior to the moment that we were in the desert. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
it
there's no
seems like
reason
no
for
one's
us to
been here.
assume it's the year 23.
There's a giant
Mhm.
tropical rainforest outside. Though
Yeah,
I guess
so-
Farah and Arnadell haven't seen that.
We have not seen
Yeah.
the tropical rainforest.
Mhm.
I'm like, we literally could be here like 5 minutes ago. There's what do we know?
Yeah, Car will definitely give like, this is everything we've seen so far. Tropical desert, we're floating hundreds of feet above the ground.
We could be in the future.
I guess that's
This
true
is
too.
too much. Let me read
We
these
could be
papers.
Yeah.
like the dates won't change whether we're a year after they happened or 25,000 years after they happened.
But yeah, they could have started time
So
line over. Anyway,
now that you have all 4 pages, I think it would behoove us to read them all in order. Are
Who
you
wants
okay
to
with
read
doing
them?
that, Katie, or should I do that?
But you
We can
do
each
it. I
read
hate
one.
Reading out loud.
oh, we can each read one.
Oh, it's like story time. Okay. All right. Nassim read part 1, Sage read part 2, Katie read part 3, and Brittany read part 4.
Cool.
Let's
All right.
go.
Part 1. So many lives have already been claimed by this pointless war, and today the axe falls once again as I must order my people to evacuate the keep. As the enemy grows stronger, they push further and further into our plane. They murder as they go with no regard for Titan, mortal, or beast.
One thing is certain, we have created monsters. These beings have begun to call themselves gods, enslaving large swaths of mortal, bending them to worship and pay tribute at bizarre altars. I cannot blame the mortals, though. We left them to their own devices. Apparently, we were mistaken to leave them as they were, free and innocent. None of us could have guessed these gentle creatures would come to be used against us so.
Muted.
But I suppose philosophy is not for one such as I, a general of a forsaken keep. My soldiers and civilians both make exodus by the hour, but I shall remain to face whatever these monsters come to collect. My automatons and I shall deal with whatever blow we can. We'll deal whatever blow we can to these monsters.
If I do somehow survive, I shall follow my troops to the front line. There, Kronos assembles the remaining few of us who still live. Though few, a collection of titans is a force that even these ingrate gods must respect. We forge them as we forge the mortals, and the Maker's hammer best destroys their work. The Maker!
And that is the entry.
I mean, I don't
You
know
can-
if it's the Maker, but like...
You can tell that there is one final page that you have not found.
Oh.
Kara.
Well, okay, so it sounds like I want to try to decipher what the fuck is going on in this thing.
You see Kara's eyes kind of like bing for a moment as she says, "Find the Maker to unmake."
Mm-hmm. We got a hammer. We got to find a fucking hammer. It's a hammer. Right? Am I like just understanding that correctly? You guys?
I mean, yeah, whatever tool was used.
Well, I
I
wanna
guess
know
it was a
what they were-
hammer.
I would love to know what they were going up against because that might also be very telling. Automatons. Also, there's so many things in here that I have so many questions for. They're just like pinging the red flags left and right. Red flags, blue flags, green flags, like all of the flags.
Well, did you guys see anywhere maybe where we could find more papers
Well,
like these? Or
There
We
was
came-
a room with this nasty looking fucking vermin rat thing, and it was as big as I am. I guess we could go back there.
What was it doing?
It was eating garbage, scraps,
Paper?
I guess. I honestly don't know. I was too terrified at the size of this thing. I needed to leave.
But it didn't attack you when it saw you, right?
No, we could probably scare it away, I guess.
Or just, like we don't have to scare it away. Maybe we could just kind of like maybe it's sentient and we can ask it to help us find this missing page since it likes to snack on paper.
I will
maybe
say,
we found a new mouth.
I'm trying to give you all a hint. Kara, go ahead and give me a retroactive, perception check.
21.
Okay. While you were kind of climbing up on the table and looking at these papers, there was a set of double doors that was right in front of that table. And it didn't really register to you at the time because so much was happening and you got a message and whatever. But around the bottom of that door line, you had seen metallic dust, bronze and gold and little pieces of, they looked like shrapnel.
Shavings.
Now that you think about it, but you're oh, that's weird. Everything else is so messy. Or so clean here, and
Right.
then that was such a weird, messy thing to see.
Yeah, Kara is "Wait, come with me," and we'll immediately start running towards those doors in the middle of the room. We gotta get this open. I think this might be a forge or a workshop or something.
Oh, no. I'm yeah, let's do. You're not. Yes.
Sure. Yeah, and as you get to like the end of the hall, and you do your spear trick, Arnadella and Farah, you're probably very impressed that Saye and Kara can open doors so easily. You open up this door, and before you is like a short kind of reception hallway that would lead to like a grander room, maybe a throne room or something. And this room is littered with the remains of bodies, but they're not like humanoid bodies. They look like metal bodies, like things you're seeing, like golden arms and like bronze torsos, things that look like they have been blown to smithereens across this room. And it's leading to a set of doors on the other side that are open, like blown open. Like just a huge explosion happened. So these massive doors have been totaled. So you're seeing the remains of these, constructs just like doddering the floor before this room at the end of the hallway.
Automatons! Car points excitedly.
Clues!
I'm gonna start searching for a paper immediately, a journal of some kind.
Sure, yeah. You look in this room and you're kind of, pouring it over, and like it's like everything you touch in this room like disintegrates immediately. You're not sure what kind of magic could do this to steel and gold and like metals like this, but it's rough.
Detect magic.
Yeah. All the magic that held these things together is gone. There's no magic here. It's all been pulled and torn and decimated.
Like leached from what it. So I can.
Maybe.
Is that why it's so brittle?
You've never seen something like this. I mean, there's no magic signature at all. And you're like, well, they're automatons, they're constructs. They would have needed some kind of magic.
Ooh, like what is it whenever like you can
Oh, the EMP like blast
EMP
or whatever.
thing? Yeah. Is that like the magical version of that?
Shut it down. Magical EMP.
Yeah.
And I'll say, like, as you're searching amid these bodies, the doors on the other side have been just blown open, and you can catch glimpses of what's in there. And this room seems to be, maybe it was a throne room, maybe it was a meeting room, something like that. But there's this grand balcony that like kind of looks over this like Amazonian forest that stretches out. And currently all the windows and doors facing this balcony are open, and you just catch the fluttering of curtains. And standing before it is this titanic, you might say, figure of this woman who seems to be like, she's holding her hand out like over her eyes as if like blinding sun came at her and she was blocking her view. But she's not quite like you're like, oh, a statue as you look at her, but you look again and she like seems to sparkle in the sunlight, and you see pieces of the statue are beginning to erode or fall away. And held in one arm, like clutched to her chest, you see the remains of a book of some kind that's been like torn apart as the pages have fallen and fluttered across.
Do we
wait, a Titan-sized book or a regular-sized book?
I mean, it's about to match the pages that you've been reading, let's say. So they're pretty large pages, but a Titanic
double mage hand.
But wait, she's like shimmering.
She like sparkles,
but not like her stoniness is not like de-stonifying.
She's like whatever like substance
crystalline?
She's made of. Yeah, it's sort of crystalline. If you want to investigate it, you certainly
yes. I do. Arcana check, like hardcore.
Give me a nature check, actually, as you're investigating this. Or a stonework check would work also. Dwarven stone cunning. Yeah.
I have a plus 12 to that.
I got a 22 for nature.
Sure.
26.
Yeah. Okay, so both of you sort of, as you get closer to the statue and you kind of, smell it and touch it and taste it, you're like, oh shit, she was turned into salt. This is a fucking pillar of salt that's like
she
statue.
Looked back.
Gamora.
She looked back. which you gotta love her for.
So, and she is like facing right now the open window. So, like, whatever might have done this to her probably descended from the balcony and she shielded her eyes and was turned into a statue made of salt.
Arnie, what
Yes.
can turn things into salt?
Well,
like-
without referring to any of the things that I know I could probably think of in my mental Rolodex, sounds like a curse. Sounds like a foregone prophecy that ended up coming true. There's all sorts of like mythologies of people doing that, like questioning, you know, Arnadell's like rambling
Cool.
now.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the only being who could probably do this is a god.
Yeah, like this is like some pretty big shit, you know, like she looks like she's like a titan. I mean, like we all know that those fuckers are strong as hell, ancient. Like who knows where we are or when, but like we're floating. We're floating because this is the first time Arnadell's like seen out of a window. Like Jesus Christ, that's she's like starting to freak out a little bit, like that and all that. So she looks at Car and she's like, long and short of it, I don't know, but it's a big deal.
Grab the book.
Yeah, let's grab
Farrah's
it.
already
You
got
see-
her mage hand like
Yeah.
trying to wiggle
One
it.
fluttering page remaining in this book. Here we go.
Snatched. Sage, you could read it though.
Okay. Should you, dear fellows, find this account that the traitor gods have defeated me, but do not fear, brave ones, trust in Kronos. He is the source of all things, including glorious victory. And though it is beyond my scope, I also ask that when this ends, you do not judge the mortals too harshly. I fear we left them in the cold without a knife, and even the kindest beast turned vicious when left to starve. I will watch your glory from beyond the stars. Your
Enemy.
signed, your enemy.
Oh,
And that's Eurynomy spelled EURYNOME, not your enemy.
No,
Greek as hell.
Euronymous.
Euronymous.
Yeah.
You're on to me.
what? Well, I mean, like your enemy sounds quite the empathetic individual. Logically deducing. So there was basically like an upheaval or a rebellion against the people that are presumably in this floating fortress. They were defending themselves against some kind of like rebellion against the things that they were in charge of.
Sounds like Titans made gods and mortals worship gods.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Gods got mortals to kill Titans.
Hmm.
That's my guess at any rate.
But I mean, the first, or was it the first one? Yeah, the first part doesn't make it sound like it's any of them. Seems like it's preying on every category: beast, mortal, titan.
I think there's like a handful of individuals that had the bright idea to convince all the other creatures living down below to rise up against the ones up in the floating castles. Is what I'm guessing. And then those are the ones that called themselves gods.
I see.
I mean, that shows up. Arnadell's like, that shows up in history all the time, but we're talking about like deity level, titan level. Like that happens with like mages and like the average town folk. This is kind of like on a hugely grand scale. Also, I really want to know what time we're in.
Me too.
There's no date or anything in this journal.
Mm-mm.
Well, even if there was a date, we could still be like 20,000 years in the future. Like the date that this was written isn't going to help us. I want to know what time we're in. Like, is there a newspaper laying around somewhere? Can somebody take a picture with their phone so Siri can tell us?
The metadata.
A moon calendar of some kind.
Yeah, like if
Or
the
calendar.
sun sets, maybe we can like, you know, coordinate that with whatever is happening in the stars above.
It's about dusk.
Well,
as you're looking outside. Does any one of you want to run out and look at the patterns in the sky?
Yeah. Oh, yes. I would very much like to. I want to see if like the constellations can be, or there's something that I remember, or not remember. What's the fucking word I'm looking for? Recognize. Thank you. Jesus.
Yeah. Run outside. You can, I mean, the balcony is like thrown open. So you can absolutely step outside and, look at the rising stars in the sky. Go ahead and make me a check of some kind. Survival, nature, history, whatever you think would quantify Arnadel's astronomy skills.
I'm going to go with history because she's going to use the celestial heavens for like all sorts of alchemical things. Like you got to know when the full moon's happening for moon water and shit.
Sure. Then roll with advantage for the alchemy.
The first one, that's dope. 16 plus, I said Arcana, right? Or no, history. 16 plus 8. So that's 24. Did you say guidance?
I can do it. Yeah.
24 is pretty.
Plus 3.
27. Okay. So with the 27, as you're looking up into the sky, you do recognize constellations, but they're like tightly compact in a way that could only happen if you were very, very far back in time. You think maybe even close to when astronomical history began. You think, you suspect that you are probably in the year 23.
Like this just happened.
This just
like the
happened.
Dust hasn't even settled in this tome. Oh fuck. So Arnadel, like when she like calculates that, she's like thinking about it. She's like really uncomfortable with the real, you know what I mean? Like, come on, you guys would probably have the same fucking feeling. Like, oh fuck. Like,
and as you're like realizing that and kind of looking at the stars in the sky,
I'm gonna quickly turn around and look at everybody and be like, oh my god, like, oh
yeah,
you guys.
And as you do so, the sky suddenly lights with these red flashes. They're almost like fireworks. As you're kind of looking, the clouds themselves burgeon and roll with these scarlet hues. And then you see this massive like beam of energy sort of pours down from the sky. And it must be like a couple miles off from where you are right now. But you can see it like as it travels slowly, almost like this laser, like across the earth. You see trees and ground just evaporated by this reddish arcane fire that descends from the heavens and moves in this tract slowly ever towards you as the land itself becomes scorched by whatever the hell this is. And you see that the trees and life turn to sand below you as this beam just moves through, coming right towards you.
Well,
and
shit.
I think that's where we're gonna end for tonight because we over time.
So let me guess, this is how the Kronos Desert became the Kronos Desert.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't want to become the Kronos Desert, so we gotta figure something
Also, what the
out.
fuck is like happening arcanally to like turn jungle like floating castle? I've got so many questions about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna want to know.
There's a lot of questions here on the Venture Maidens. Thank you everybody so much for joining us for another episode. This was a juicy one, blast from the past. Yay. I've been Celeste Conowich, your dungeon master.
I am your perplexed elven warlock, Arnadelithil, played by Brittany Quintero.
I am your weakling sorceress, Fairvalem, played by Katie.
You're strong of heart.
Oh, thanks.
And I, Nassim, have been your spastic human monk, Sayonor, ready to GTFO.
Yeah, no, this is bad. No.
And I am your elementary dear barbarian, Cara Brynhilda, played by Sage.
Oh, thank you all so much for being here. That was fun. Thank you all for reading. I was like I was in the good parts of English class again. You all are great. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you all are safe and happy out there in the world, sending good vibes. But we are here to bring you that content if you are bored or stuck at home. We've got lots of great shit always happening now on this channel. So let's see. Oh, we're not live tomorrow, but we're back on Friday.
Yes.
Go for it.
I'll be running a Dragon Age game on Friday. We have just secured an alliance with the Rebel Mages, and we are ass deep in demons.
Yeah, no, you closed the breach. Everything's fine.
Till it isn't.
It's fine. Yep, so we'll be back on Friday with our Dragon Age campaign, and of course on Sunday Nassim will be back with video games at 7 p.m. With her, hopefully her cute cat will make an appearance.
Yay!
What are you playing right now, Nassim?
Yeah, what are you playing?
I'm playing Rayman 2, The Great Escape.
Oh my god,
playing
Rayman.
out of order, the reverse order of the Rayman series.
Yes, it's getting wild. We're time hopping. We're all about it. And then at Monday on the 6th, we're going to be back at 6 p.m. for the Ultimate Guide to Hair demo stream part 2. So sorry we had to move that, folks, but this is to promote the Kickstarter that Katie and I have worked on that is live right now. We only have a few more days, 9 days to go on it. I'm going to go ahead and put it link in the chat right now. But basically, Katie did all the interior art, and I did a ton of design work for a book called The Ultimate Guide to Hair, which is over 60 pages of new subclasses, monsters, spells, everything, basically, all themed around hair for your Dungeons and Dragons games. It's wacky, it's wild, it's very good. On our YouTube channel, you can check out the first demo game we did. That was a very good time. And for this one, Neil is going to be DMing, and he's going to be running us through the Loom of Horrors, which is, you guessed it, the Tomb of Horrors adapted with hair. So
that's fucking fantastic, and I am so ready for this.
It's going to be very scary and fun. So please join us 6 p.m. on Monday for that. And then, of course, we have, oh my gosh, Call of Cthulhu the Tuesday. We got a lot of shit. Tune in. Follow us on Twitter at Venture Maidens, on Instagram, on Facebook to get the latest updates. You all are amazing. Thank you all so much. We love you. Can't wait till next time to see if we get blown up by gods or whatever. But until then,
venture
away! Venture away. Oh my god, where's OBS? Wait, where it is? Okay, I found it. Okay, bye everybody. Bye. Thank you.
Get out of here.
Bye.